to another episode of Walking with Christ. So today I'm going to be talking about grace and how grace works through us and for us. So let me just start off by saying that I'm not perfect, nobody's perfect, and I'm not claiming that I'm perfect. I just thought I would share some of the advice that I go by, and hopefully maybe it'll inspire you guys as well. So the way that grace works is that when we believe in Jesus, we're declared righteous in God's eyes through Jesus' sacrifice. And when we accept Jesus, we receive the gift of the Holy Spirit, which dwells within us and guides us to where we need to be. So the way that grace works is by God's favor, and God declaring us righteous simply by our faith. Another way that I believe grace works is that when we truly understand what it is that God did for us by giving all that He had for us to earn our love, it compels us and inspires us to accept His gift and to accept Him and to be inspired by the sacrifice that He made for us. And it's just like it says in 1 John 4:19, we love Him because He first loved us. Sometimes I tend to forget how grace works. So for example, I was in church last week and there was a part in the service where the pastor said, open your arms and ask the Holy Spirit what it is that He wants you to do in this very moment. And so I did, and I wasn't receiving a response. So I said to God in my heart, why am I not getting a response? And the response that I didn't hear, but I felt was, accept that you don't know and trust me. So I thought, okay, that's pretty interesting, right? And I carried on with my day. I mean, of course I put thought into it, but it wasn't something that I, thought tremendously about. And it was later in the day when I was actually seeing a movie, and I was seeing Christopher Robin, which is a great movie, by the way. Very inspirational, very beautiful, about the importance of youthfulness, which I'll get into in another video, because I believe youthfulness is very important. As Jesus said, you must become a child to enter heaven. So I'll just give a quick heads up, there's going to be a bit of a spoiler here. So if you don't want the movie to be spoiled, don't watch. Basically, the lesson in the movie was accept nothing, because sometimes nothing leads to the very best something. And I think we as humans forget that it's by God's grace that we are able to live and produce fruit. We tend to rely on our own power too much instead of the power that comes from God, I think. And there was actually a really interesting scene in that movie that works as a parable. So there was a scene, again, spoiler alert, where Christopher Robin was actually in a well. And the rain was coming down, so the water level was rising. And he had a vision that said, nothing is the answer. Nothing leads to the best something. So essentially what this vision was telling him was to accept the nothing and do nothing. And that's what he did. And, as he was struggling to climb out of this well, he stopped panicking and just let go. And when he woke up, I guess he passed out of fear or something, but when he woke up, he was at the top of the well because the water level had actually carried him to the top. And I think that's a perfect metaphor of God's grace. When we see that life around us is drowning us, or we think it's drowning us, it's really bringing us up higher and closer to God. And so seeing that movie just confirmed the thought that I had earlier about letting go and accepting that sometimes there's nothing to do, and that's when we have to start trusting. Anyways, just thought I'd share that, and hope you all have a great night. Peace.